It is being reported out of Nigeria that Anthony Joshua suffered severe injuries in a car collision that took out two of his team members and left him with serious injuries. This is breaking news. I woke up this morning and I had a chance to look at social media. And here's the thing, man. I saw I saw a photo of him, and I saw it said breaking news. It was one of the posts from one of the MMA sources out there, and instantaneously in my head, I've seen so many popular superstars, so many actors, actresses, fighters, and you see the post, and it says breaking news, and all of a sudden, like my mind instantly goes to something is wrong here. Like your heart skips a beat when you see things like that because it's like the first thing that you see. You're scrolling and you see everybody saying breaking news, breaking news, breaking news, and you're like, what's going on? So you read the caption, and it this is devastating, and it's it really tells you like one day you could be doing something, you could be on top of the world. Everybody could know your name. Everybody could be your fan. You have no haters. You only have fans. And the next day, it doesn't mean anything. It means nothing. Because you can't take all of that once you're gone. It really puts it into perspective. And this is the kind of feeling I had when I saw this news here. Um, I'm on the BBC's website here, and tributes are pouring in from around the world uh, for Anthony Joshua and his team. So Joshua had only just returned to the ring after more than a year, and he beat Jake Paul on Netflix. It was a huge payday, and literally weeks later, he was struck in Nigeria simply to spend New Year's with family. The plan had been for Joshua to fight again in Saudi Arabia in February before eventually moving towards the long talked fight with Tyson Fury in 2026. Joshua has lost two people close to him. Friends first and foremost, including his longtime strength and conditioning coach, Gami, and the emotional impact of that is impossible to measure. Gami was by his side throughout a fight week in Miami and joined him in the ring after his win over Paul. And whatever he decides to do next in the twilight of his career almost feels insignificant. People are posting. I mean, we got boxers, we got athletes from around the world saying rest in peace. To the two folks that passed away in this car accident. We had the Nigerian president. He spoke to Josh. He said that he wished him a full and speedy recovery, prayed for him. AJ reassured that he's receiving the best possible care. He said, I also spoke with his mother, and she's deeply appreciative of the phone call. This is insane. It's the last thing you think of. Here's a full statement from the Matchroom Boxing AJ's promoter. AJ was involved in a road accident in Lagos, Nigeria. With profound sadness, it has been confirmed that the two close friends and team members, Sina Gama and Latif Aodel, have tragically passed away. Matchroom Boxing and 258 BXG can confirm that Anthony sustained injuries in the accident and he was taken to the hospital for checks and treatment. He is in a stable condition and will remain there for observation. As I said, man, one day you're beating up one of the most hated people in boxing. That's Jake Paul, and you get these cheers and you get revered for being back and possibly having a heavyweight fight in the new year, and all of a sudden that could just be taken away from you. I really hope that he's doing okay. Quite frankly, there is no good timing for something like this. There never is. There never will be. Two of his team members closest to him passed away, literally like next to him, and it's like there's no emotions that you can there's no way to explain the kind of emotion you feel, especially being that it's heading into the new year, and I'm sure he's going to do media, when the time is right, when he's getting better, talking about this situation. But it's a horrific, it's tragic, I'm sure there's ways to have avoided this, especially around this time of year. But man, all he was doing was celebrating New Year's and ended up in this situation. And um, thankfully, thankfully, he wasn't taken away. Thankfully, he's still alive and he'll be all right. But it's still tragic to see that people's lives had to be taken away in this situation. And there's families that are going to be impacted by this, and it's very sad to see. So we hope that he's good, like he gets better. In other news, I wanted to discuss a couple of things that were happening right now in the world of MMA. So you guys probably know this very well now. Tom Aspinall suffered just a brutal injury, and this was from Cyril Gagnev at UFC 321. He suffered multiple eye pokes. Now it's been rumored now that he's going to be needing double eye surgery, and he's going in for it. To give you guys the rundown, this fight resulted in no contest, and he had suffered significant bilateral Brown syndrome, affecting his ability to move his eyes upward with double vision and visual field loss. He's already scheduled to have surgery on one eye and has a second surgery scheduled for mid-January with no return timeline, and there's no MMA training allowed until he's cleared, and he still wants a rematch with Cyril, which it was crazy, man, to hear this. Dana White sitting, in the one of the conferences, and he's talking, and he's saying things like, Aspinall couldn't continue the fight, or something of the nature of like, Aspinall didn't want to continue the fight, and it's like it's not like he didn't want to continue. It's like, look at his condition. I mean, he's not able to see, and you're telling the guy to, oh well, he's the one who kind of threw in the towel and said, I got to stop the fight. You're making him look like he's the guy that did it. You see, everybody keeps saying that this is an unfortunate accident, but we have to look at the pattern here. Multiple eye pokes in one round. There was no disqualification. And Dana White, again, implies that Aspinall didn't want to keep the fight before he backtracked. And he ended up saying things like, well, we have guys on him. My team or whatever is listening into what Aspinall is saying. And he's dodging the question here. The question was, has he spoken with him? Not if he has guys on him, relaying information from Aspinall to him. That's not you speaking with him directly. Like I just talked about the Nigerian president who spoke with AJ and who spoke with his mother following this accident that he had today, December the 29th, as I'm filming this. That's what we call speaking directly to the person, not having five guys in between you and you're being relayed a message. That's not what we're talking about. So he's going to have surgery, and it looks like he's having double eye surgery, and as soon as he gets it, the better, and he's going to have to recover from that. We're not sure when his return is going to be, but if a champion like this man, undisputed champion, if they suffer a career-threatening condition, there's no disqualification, and then they get publicly second-guessed by the promoter, what message does this send about how the UFC values its champions versus schedule and optics? Okay? Dana White is the promoter. Dana White is the guy who is PR trained, apparently, and could have said anything else. He could have made any other remarks about the situation, but he ends up going out there saying this in a manner where he's like, I don't really care. It's not my problem. This is not a good look. It's not a good look, and quite frankly, this might leave a lot of fighters in feeling this kind of doubt as well about if they were to perform, are they going to be backed by the company if they end up in a situation like this? Because we know when you train to get in the ring, the mixed martial arts ring, you're training to kill. Like, this is not a joke. You're training to kill. So every fight you take could be your last fight. Like, it could be your very last one. You could be retired after that. You could very well much uh, just die from the incident that takes place in the ring. There's no guarantee. So if Aspinall can't get the backing and the support, it's just, it looks bad. It's a question of what if. It's a question of what happens down the road for these fighters. It's about whether the sport takes fighter safety seriously when it costs them a main event. Again, if Tom could continue the fight, everybody that's watching knows that he would have continued the fight. Do you really feel like he would have wanted to give it up his championship, being undisputed champion? Like, he wants to just give that up? Like, okay, I'm cool. I had my run. I'll give it to somebody else now. Of course not. He wanted to continue the fight. And if you're not able to see, it don't matter how great you are in training, how well you can land a punch and a kick. It doesn't matter. You can't see, so you don't even know what you're punching and kicking. So thankfully, he's getting surgery. Hopefully, he gets it done. It's a success, and he can come back. And in the meantime, there needs to be questions had, and there needs to be accountability that's served to the executives at the UFC. Now, on to other news here. Daniel Cormier is in the news, and he did make sort of a suggestion here. He said that he was open to facing Jon Jones one last time, but it won't be at the UFC White House event. You guys might have heard of RAF, or Real American Freestyle Wrestling. RAF is bringing wrestling back into the mainstream, and they're giving professional fighters a place to compete in between bouts. So you have UFC middleweight and three-time NCAA Division I champion Bo Nickel will defend his light heavyweight title against BKFC Can Crusher and UFC veteran Yoel Romero as part of the upcoming RAF wrestling event on Saturday, January 10th, 2026 at the Amarant Bank Arena in Sunrise, Florida on Fox Nation. Now, RAF is a promotion that was started originally. This was with Hulk Hogan, Eric Bischoff. They had started this. Hulk Hogan has passed away. I think it was like a week or two after he was on the Ariel Helwani show, and he was discussing the rollout that was going to take place in the fall. And so this is basically what they're doing is, it's real wrestling, but it's going to be folks who do not want to fight in the UFC. Maybe they're not able to compete at that level, and they still want to compete, but they want to compete on a different stage that still has the prominence, that still has the attraction. And of course, RAF is new. They have tried similar promotions in the past. There haven't been much success with it, but there was also a lot of nuances that they didn't know about back then when they first decided to launch a promotion like this. So Cormier comes out, and he did say that he publicly stated that he would wrestle the right guy, and he would love to wrestle Jon Jones. He said, "I'm not wrestling Yoel," and he would like to wrestle Jon Jones, but he's somebody who he would take on in an RAF ring. RAF, again, is a freestyle wrestling promotion. It features UFC names like Michael Chandra, Bilal Muhammad, and Shaquan Buckley. Cormier said he would not wrestle Yoel because Romero is still insanely good. Again, it's more so for those who are kind of like on the back end of their career, and they're still looking to, be in the fight scene and make money, this is one of those situations. Uh, Personally, I don't believe Daniel Cormier was ever going to be on the UFC White House card. Um, there's always a question of fatigue and stamina. Of course, we've seen guys like Anderson Silva perform uh, back on the card a couple weeks ago, the Jake Paul and AJ card, and he looks phenomenal, and he'll continue to fight. And I believe it's all a personal choice for Daniel. I mean, if he chooses to fight to see the match with Jon Jones, um, it'd be awesome. It'd be unique. He did say that he had some regrets from that rematch. Um, DC says that he lost focus mid-fight because he started feeling too confident. He regrets not staying locked in and believes that's why he got head kicked. He said this was the one moment he would redo if he could. And there's a thing with fighters, like if a fighter is able to still perform and they have this itch, something that's gnawing at them. In this case, it's the fact that he didn't go out on his own terms. He felt like that fight, it did not showcase who Daniel was as a fighter, as a performer. And of course, we know how great he is in the ring. If we get to see this rematch from UFC 214, I'm all for it. I'd love to see it. I think this time around, because you always take something from every fight. You learn from one fight and you apply it to the next one. I'd love to see this. If we get to see this in RAF, it'd be amazing. And I think regardless of whatever the situation is, people might say a lot of different things about Daniel and Jon Jones. This is going to be a phenomenal payday for both athletes, and it's going to be a showcase that people will want to see. So that's me breaking that down for you guys. That's pretty much it. I just wanted to come on here and kind of show face, talk a little bit about what's happening right now. Of course, we're heading into the new year, so there's a lot of updates on what's taking place in the new year, the first month, and the different shows and the different events that are happening. But I wanted to let you guys know what was taking place. Again, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure that you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. I'll be bringing more news from the world of combat sports, MMA, professional wrestling to you guys. If you guys have not already, make sure you check out. I talked about the top 5 worst matches and top 5 best matches of WWE in 2025. Both those videos are out. Check it out. Make sure to leave a comment if you disagree with any of those suggestions, and maybe even list your top 5, worst and best. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. See you later.